wanted to jump on the video today just to talk about the differences between building strength and maintaining strength and how different these actually can look and how we can use this information to kind of move forward and make better training decisions. So building strength over time, you're probably going to have to do more work in terms of volume, intensity, the weights that you're lifting, and as well as probably the frequency as well. So over time, you are going to have to do a little bit more work as you get more trained to get the training effect that you're after. However, when it comes to maintaining strength, you might be surprised at how little training it actually takes to maintain the strength that you've already built. The reason I want to talk about this today is as it gets closer to summer, people might have other things that are going on. And today I'm hoping to give you some information that you can use to guide your training decisions. So rather than having a complete break from the gym, you might just want to do a little bit of maintenance work instead. So while maintenance it doesn't sound too optimal, it is for some people going to be better than doing absolutely nothing at all. So looking at the anecdotal evidence as well as the actual research, like I said, to build strength, we're going to have to do more work over time. That's going to be very individual. But in terms of maintaining that strength, we can drop the volume down to, some studies show, as little as almost 10% of what you currently do. It's different for hypertrophy to strength, but for strength, 10%. So if you could do 10 working sets of squats or quads or lower body training, you'd only have to do, in theory, 1 set to maintain your strength. While this is quite extreme, let's say it's 30% rather than 100%, this is a massive reduction. So actually to maintain the strength that you built is going to take a lot less effort than it is to actually build the strength in the first place. So if you're busy in the summer, you can use this information. So rather than just taking the time off completely, if you haven't got enough time to complete a full session, going in and doing a small amount of training is going to go a long way to then be able to jump back into your normal training and then trying to optimize things to then push on further down the line. So I definitely recommend, if you are short on time, trying to do a little bit of training to maintain the work and the quality of strength that you've built up, to maintain that during that busy time. We can also use this for people that might be swapping sports. An example is myself, is someone that used to powerlift and is then gone into more kind of competitive fitness world. You're already probably going to be plenty strong enough if you're already a strength athlete, and you won't need to build much of a strength. However, your other characteristics of fitness might be lagging. So rather than still continually trying to push your strength training, you probably want to just maintain as much as that as you can while trying to pursue building up your cardiovascular fitness, your anaerobic fitness, speed and power. So rather than trying to push all these hard, what we can do is keep that strength on that maintenance mode, so dropping that volume right down to around 30% and pushing the other areas that you need to bring up, closing on that bottleneck and making yourself a more well-rounded athlete. The third group of people is going to be your rugby players and your off-season athlete. This is a great time to build strength. However, in the in-season, it can be difficult. A lot of people find it really hard to balance your strength training with your on-field and your team sport-based events, or any sport that you do. So rather than trying to continue to build up with that strength training, keeping a moderate to high volume of training in season, in the off season, we can try and build those characteristics, improve your strength, get to a point where you're really happy with your strength levels. And then in the season is probably a time to try and maintain it or to drop that volume down to keep as much of that as you can, potentially still pushing forward if you can do. But for a lot of people, it's going to look like maintenance while we're trying to build up the characteristics and trying to keep the rugby level as the priority. So if you are busy during the summer, if you are switching sports and you're worried about your strength training, a reminder that it's a very small amount of training to maintain what you've built up. So use that to kind of guide your training decisions in the summer. And yeah, do as much as you can to maintain, so when you're ready to optimize, you can get back into it. If you are changing sports, it's a great chance just to maintain. The amount of work is very little and pursue other things. I hope that helps, guys. And as always, DM's always open if you have any questions.